Hello everyone and welcome back to another Stormworks Search and Destroy Weapons DLC video. Now in this video we're going to be talking about radar guided missiles. Now yes, I know you guys have been asking me for a radar guided missile video forever. Really been asking me a long time ago for that. So I finally decided to go and do this for you, and the reason why is we've got some new missile pieces which really make creating missiles much easier and much more compact. I'm not going to show you how to build a huge missile because we're not going to add that onto our jets. We want really nice, small, compact ones that we can use when we're doing dogfights or fighting enemy AI. And this is what we're going to be building today. We're going to be building these nice, small, little compact ones that we can go and use. Now, the reason why this is possible is we have the new radar pieces and also the warhead pieces. The new radar pieces allow us to track both horizontally and vertically with one radar, which we weren't able to do before. Before we had to add two 3x3 radars on a missile in order for it to track. Now we can actually get away with doing it with just this 1x1 little radar piece, which is really pretty cool. So these missiles are very nice, small, compact. They're fire and forget. You don't even need the stand. Of course, I'm on the ground, we do, but you could use these on planes, helicopters, boats, whatever you need to. And now they're not the longest of range, of course. They are quite short range. They only do about a K, but I mean, you know, for close ground support or close air support, you know, you're fighting or following along another jet and you want to fire off at it, this missile could be really useful to use. Now, it does have a warhead in it that is triggered by impact sensor, but I'll show you guys how to build these, but let's first go and fire them off. I've got a North Sea Patrol out there, and I've also got a static C-130, just to show you guys what this could work like. So let's go and fire this off at the first target, which is going to be the North Sea Patrol out there. So we're going to obviously elevate it up a little bit. Let's go and fire it off. There you can see it going, and oh, nice hit on target. Look at that, right at the back. Not bad. What about the C-130? So once again, we can go and angle this up a little bit, angle it towards the target, general direction once again. Meh, that looks about fine. Let's fire it off. Have a look at it. There it goes, on target. Boom! Nice big hit on target. So guys, we're going to build these. They're pretty easy to build. Not that much logic. So let's bring in the workbench and let's get started. Alright, so to get started, the first thing I've got is just a very small little base on here. Then I can go and obviously pivot up, down, left and right. And I've got some batteries. You do not need anything else in terms of logic. As you guys can see in terms of logic, there is nothing. It's literally 2 throttle levers over to 2 pivots. And we've got a fire button on a toggle switch. No logic at all. Let's go and actually go and build the missile now. Now to build the missile, we'll need some hardpoints. I've already got a hardpoint body over here, and there is also the hardpoint attachment that you can add on. So if we go and find hardpoints, there they are. We can add the attachment on, and the attachment is a really cool little piece that you can use. Firstly, it has a ton of logic on it. It's got a launch button. It also has composite, has all these kinds of cool things. And something that I actually just learned about is these actually act as batteries once you launch them. Yeah, big like wow moment. Yeah, so these can act as batteries, meaning you don't actually have to add batteries onto them later on. So now that we've got that on, you can even click on them and tell it that this is going to be a radar guided missile, so that you can build some type of logic systems and little computers inside your planes or whatever, so you can see what pylons you've got attached to your plane. This is really cool. Let's go underneath it now, and let's just go and build like a little bit of a support for it. Just like this. Now there's a few things we're going to need for the rocket. First thing, we're going to need a radar. Now, obviously the addition of the new radar allowed us to build these. So I'm going to add a radar piece on. I like adding it here in the middle. You could add it at the front if you wanted to. Once we've got that on, make sure you configure the radar by going onto it, increasing, reducing the field of view. It's once again up to you on what you want. I'm going for this video, let's go and do 1.25. We can always increase or reduce this later on. After that, we've got sweep mode, angles, pitches. Don't even bother with all that. Just set it to static and you're good to go. We will need some rocket boosters, so let's go and add some rocket boosters on. Now we'll need one to go in the front, and we'll need another one at the back later on. We will also need rocket fuel. Let's add 3 of them on in the front and 3 at the back. 1, 2, and 3. I also need a little bit of space here for something else, so later on I'll show you about that, but I'm just going to add this on here. Cool. Once we've got that on, we want a warhead. That's the thing that's going to go and explode in the front. So we're going to add that on. And we also need some logic. So logic wise, I like to use my blank mic controllers I have. I just place it down, click on it, and I can make it into any size I needed to make it. So I'm just going to make this one into a 1x3 to start with, and then we'll add the logic on later. Once I've got that, I can add that onto my missile, and I'm going to add it there. And the last big component that we need is an impact sensor. An impact sensor will allow me to detonate my warhead as soon as it actually hits a target. So for example, I can go and grab that, add it onto my detonate, and I can even configure it to say, hey, listen, you know, if you stop more than 10 meters per second, then you go and explode. Cool. Now that we've got that on, the very last piece of component that we will need is going to be some fins. Now the fins will allow us to, of course, go and pitch it up and down or left and right. So we need to add those on. Now we're going to be adding 3 on either side of the front and 3 on either side of the back, meaning we'll have a total of, let's say, 3, 6, 9, 12 on the back and 12 at the front, so 24 in total. It's quite a lot, but it will work at the end. So now we need to add the fin rudders on. We can do in the front, we're going to go with, let's say, positive to the right, and we're going to go to the back, and we're going to do the opposite, so we're going to do positive to the left. And then on the pitch side, we can do, let's say, positive down the front, and we're going to go with opposite, which is going to be positive facing up at the back. Okay, so we're going to go with opposites on either side. Doesn't matter, once again, which angle. You can always change this later on in the logic. Just make sure that the top and bottom is the same in the front, and then the top and the bottom is the same in the back, and vice versa for the side pieces. So you can see here we've got negative facing up, so we're going to go with negative facing up in the front, and we're going to go with positive facing up at the back. And there we go. So now that we have all of that, that's all the components you're going to need. You don't need anything else. Double check any settings you need to change. So for example, radar, impact sensor, and the last thing we're going to change is maybe our burn rate. And we're going to change that. Let's do like 45% burn rate at the moment. You can even lower this down to about 35. It just depends on how fast you want your missile to go and hit the target. 35 should be good. Let's now go into the last part, which is the logic. So logic is actually quite simple here. You're going to need 3 nodes, 1, 2, 3. First one's going to be composite in, and then you're going to get a number out and a number out. Composite in is going to be from the radar. The first number out will be for pitch, and the second one will be for pivot. Make sure those are outputs, and make sure you also go and move those around. Once we've got that, let's go into the logic. Now, radars, how do they work? Well, we talked about this in the radar guided gun, I think yesterday or a few days ago, but let's go and talk about them again. So radars now can read up to, I think, 8 targets, and they read 4 pieces of data or numbers on each target. And that is going to be your distance, your rotation angle, pitch angle, and lastly, time since detected. They also read 1 on and off, and that is going to be whether it's found the target or not. Now, even though I'm not going to be using all of these, I like to add them on just for the purpose of the videos. So we're going to add these on. That means it's 1 whole target of information. The next thing we need is obviously to go and convert our pitch and rotation into our pitch and pivot. So how we're going to use that? Well, let's just use some function blocks. Okay, very simple. You guys know I love using function blocks, and let's add 2 of those on, 1 and 2. We're going to go in and do x times 7 and x times 7. Okay, that will go and take the input from the radar and times it by 7. Okay, we can go and add that there. This is going to be our rotation, so make sure this is rotation, which is pivot, perfect, and the other one's going to be pitch. Cool. So guys, that is as basic as it gets for the logic. Obviously, this is not the best way, but it's basic enough for it to work. Once we've got that on, let's go and connect everything up. So composite from my radar into my controller, from my controller into the pivot, which is going to be left and right. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. We also need the pitch, which is on left and right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the back 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Make sure we've got electricity connected to everything we need to. So electricity is going to go from our hard point onto all of these different surfaces, okay, and all these different control surfaces. Now, as I said, the hard point, once disconnected, acts as a battery, which is really cool. Composite is definitely working. We've now got this. Let's check. So we've got launched. It's going to start our rocket, start our radar, and if it detects or impacts on something, it's going to explode or detonate that. Everything else seems pretty much good to go, I think. We've got a toggle button connected to my launch, and let's go and fire this. Let's go and see how this is going to work. Now we can always adjust the settings later on if you need to. If it's too sensitive or not sensitive enough, you can always adjust it. I'm going to show you another method of controlling this in a few seconds. Once we've got this up and general direction is set, spawn it in, fire it. There it goes. There it goes. Oops, it went the wrong direction. So there's an issue there. Now to fix that, pretty easy. Go into the logic again, go on to what was the issue. It went left instead of right. So we can go on to our pivot and we can do a negative there. Update that in, confirm it, spawn it in, and let's go and check that again. So I'll go and find it. Let's go up here, rotate a little bit, and fire. Okay, so that one, we needed to aim it a little bit more higher. So let's go and spawn that in again. And let's go and put this a little bit higher. I mean, one issue is that we might need to increase our thrust. Let's just go and fire that. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes, and almost hit on target. Okay, now for me, I probably want to increase my thrust a bit. I'm going to go with like 45, and we'll try it one more time. And then once we've done that, I'm going to show you another way that's much more accurate for the radar guidance. So let's go up here, angle it a bit, fire it off, bye-bye, fire and forget, there it goes, there it goes, boom, hit on target, just like that, guys. So simple, so easy to get a hit on target like that. Obviously that is a static target, it's not moving, so you want a little bit of a better system. So guys, that is how easy it is to go and build some radar guided missiles. Now, you could make bigger ones, you could make smaller ones, you could convert this into sonar stuff. There's so many opportunities, and I'm going to definitely be releasing this stuff on the workshop for you guys, so you can download it, add it to your creations. As I said, I still want to do a little bit more polishing. I want to make them perform a little bit better. Here at the moment, they sometimes hit, they sometimes don't. But yeah, I'd love to improve this, and I will put it on the workshop for you guys as soon as it's completed. So you guys can go and add it to your own creations and have some fun with these, because they are so much fun to play with, especially if you add like 10 or 20 of them underneath your plane or something. You can have so much fun with these. Let's go and angle this last one up. Bye bye. Let's go and say goodbye to this guy. And there he goes. So guys, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, smash that like button. If you have some suggestions on anything else you want me to go over, leave it in the comments below. And until the next one, we will see you then.